So we are live. Hello, it's Coach E from Nurtured by Art. And it's been a while since I've been live, so let me catch you guys up on what's been going on with me. So when I started talking about my weight loss journey, I believe that was January 20th or 21st. I was 431 pounds. I started intermittent fasting. I cut gluten. I cut dairy and all those type of things. So I was proud of myself for doing that. I dropped 5 pounds doing that. Like March 9th, I think I was already down to like 425. So I guess I dropped 6 pounds doing that. Then I met I found this guy on YouTube, and it's called Alternative Health, a Healthy Alternative, AHA Community. Chris James, and he was like more so talking about dry fasting, meaning like nothing, you don't eat or drink anything for a certain amount of time. Water fasting, where you only have water and you don't eat nothing else. For extended fasting periods, like 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 4 days, 5 days. So I started getting into that. And once I started getting into that, I actually was able to lose or drop. I don't want to say lose. I was able to get out of the 400s. So like I said, initially I was 431. I dropped down to 425 just doing the intermittent fasting and dropping like, you know, the gluten and the dairy. And then after March 9th, I stopped eating meat. And I started with the extended fasting. First, I did 48 hours of dry fasting a couple of times. I actually never really did the juice fasting, and I never really did the water fasting. I just did dry with no food, no water. And I was able to actually make it to 72 hours and ultimately 100 hours. I was able to do 100 hours within that month. Well, past couple months, because I've been doing that since March 9th, and here we are in May, right? So within those couple months, I was able to get down to 397. So that was 97 to, let me see how many pounds is that I dropped, because I was like, so I dropped like 25, 26, 27, yeah, 28 pounds in those 2 months, right? Because I was, because I was 425 when I started that. And now I'm 397. Well, now I'm 395 because yesterday I actually decided that I wanted to accelerate my weight loss more. Because that's the whole thing. Like, I want to make sure that I'm consistent with this weight loss, and I want the weight loss to go. Like, I want it to go. So the intermittent fasting was kind of like, okay, you know, from January 20th to March 9th, I had lost 6 pounds, which I didn't feel like that was really a lot, especially since I have so much to drop. Like, I have a lot of weight that I need to get rid of. So I didn't think that 6 pounds was a lot, but I also wasn't being strict with what I was eating either. Like, I would eat, that I wasn't eating fast food, but like I would eat like frozen foods and stuff that probably was processed or had like a lot of salt and stuff. So I couldn't kind of attribute it to that. And then like I would go to a friend's house and eat, and then like, I would just not, I would gain weight back. So that's why I felt like I was kind of like going up and down, even though I was doing the intermittent fasting. When I met up with this AHA family, then that's when I realized, okay, let me stop eating meat. Let me just focus more so on vegetables and fruits and, juices, cold pressed juices and stuff like that. So I started doing that. And when I started doing that, like I said, I initially, like that first month, I was dropping weight like crazy. Like from, let's say, March 9th to April 9th, that's when I really just was dropping weight. I had even got down to 393. And then it started to taper off. It just wasn't going as quick unless I was doing long fasts. And I'm like, okay, I don't want a long fast. I don't want to fast 5 days in a row and only be able to eat 2 days. Like, I feel like that was messing up my metabolism anyway. And plus, when around my cycle, it just was like, I want to eat, right? So, but I've been doing it, and I've stayed consistent with that for like the 2 months. But like I said, this past month, I was like, wait, stalled. Like, I went from 393 back up to 397 in the month of April. So really, all that weight loss was really just in 1 month. Same thing with the first, when I started with the intermittent fasting, my weight loss was really just within that first month. Like I had got down in February to like 421, and then by the time February came, when March came, I was 425. So it's like something works for about a good month and then it starts to taper. And I don't know if that's just because your body gets used to it, because your body do be getting used to stuff and then you have to change it up. So since I've been noticing my body gets used to things within a month, and after a month it's like, I feel like I wasted 2 months, because from January to February, yeah, I was getting weight loss. But then from February to March, it was slow and stalled, and I gained a couple pounds. And then I found something new. So March to April, I was dropping pounds. But then April, I started like stalling and gaining weight again. So now I'm like, okay, that's 2 months wasted, because I should have been like every month switching up on my body, because my body gets used to things apparently. So now I'm going on the sugar diet, which is basically just fruits, vegetables, juices, and that's it. I mean, some people going crazy. They eating like honey and gummy bears and stuff. It's just basically no fat, no protein. So I'm going to try that and see how much I can drop within this month. Now, if I see it works longer than a month, because see, I want to do something sustainable. I can eat fruit every day. You feel what I'm saying? And vegetables every day. But I can't fast for 5 days a week, 4 days a week, and not have no food, no water. Like, that's not sustainable to me. But sustainable is fruits and vegetables every day. Even if I don't need to eat meat, because I really ain't tripping off of it. So if I don't have protein, if I can't have avocados because they have fat, or cashews or whatever, I really won't care. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start, because I was also doing another challenge, which was lose 80 pounds in 90 days, which started on the 5th. And so now I'm going to stick with that challenge, because I already started with some people. But I'm going to, on the eating days, I'm doing sugar diet, right? So fruits, vegetables, no fat, no protein. So this weekend, like yesterday, because I also noticed that when I don't see results, I start like just eating like junk. So I had Wendy's, I had pizza, but I didn't gain any weight. So I'm like, okay, I didn't gain no weight, but I didn't lose weight when I was eating the healthy stuff either. Like, I feel like my weight was just where it was for the whole month of April, regardless. I mean, I didn't go crazy and just eat junk food every day. But, like, if my kids went, I went with them and ate. You feel what I'm saying? But at first, all month of March, I didn't do none of that, and I dropped a bunch of weight. And then April, I was not doing none of that, and I was not dropping weight. So then I'm like, okay, well, let me give myself a break, because I literally was not eating out or doing nothing for, like, 2 months, almost 2 months. Like 7 weeks straight. No junk food, no meat, no, you feel me? Nothing. So, yeah, for a couple of days, I was like, okay, let's just, y'all want to go to Wendy's? Let's have Wendy's. We have Wendy's, you feel me? Oh, they want to have pizza? Okay, let's have pizza, because I'm not restricting them. They skinny and athletic, you feel what I'm saying? So it's not fair for me to restrict them, and I wasn't. Honestly, I wasn't. I was buying them stuff that they wanted. I wasn't eating none of it. But I'm like, okay, come on now, Evelyn, let's be for real here. So now that I started with this 80 and 90, 80 drop 80 pounds in 90 days challenge, I'll go ahead and have lost. I'll start off at 397, right? And I was like, well, I'm about to start incorporating back meat, because, like, my kids was like, okay, Mom, how long is we going to be doing? I mean, they like my tofu tacos and all the little stuff the little stuffed peppers I was making and stuff that was vegan. But, I'm not forcing them. So I was like, okay, so I bought salmon and shrimp and stuff like that. So anyways, 397, I started on Monday. I hadn't lost no weight still, even though we was doing 20 hours of fasting. I was fasting 20 hours a day. Mind you, I never stop fasting, even when I don't do the extended fast. Like, if I don't fast for days on end, I'll still make sure I would do, like, 20 hours of fasting. 16 at the least, but that's barely. I always was doing 20 hours or more fasting, and I'll eat just, like, maybe a couple hours in a day or something. Still no weight loss. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? So I found Cole. He's like the snake diet dude or whatever. Little crazy dude. Little white dude, always cussing out everybody. Anyway, I seen a couple of his videos. I can't just watch him for a long period of time because he's a little crazy. But hey, everybody do their own thing. I'm not here to judge. But what he was saying was basically, people was dropping weight, menopausal women. Now, mind you, I ain't in menopause yet. I still have a cycle. But he was just saying, like, basically, even if menopausal women can drop weight on this diet, anybody can, because that's the hardest. Those are the people who have the hardest time to drop pounds, which is true, because I may be premenopausal. You never know. But anyways, so I was like, well, we're doing juice fasting this weekend. That was part of the challenge anyway, right? So I was like, I might as well just go ahead and just do the fruit juices this weekend and see how that worked. And then when we do start fasting regularly again, which is the next couple weeks, we're supposed to do 18-6, and then for the next week, and then after that, 20 hours and 4 we eat, I'm going to just do fruits. I was like, I'm just going to do fruits because I love fruit. And I don't mind eating it. And plus, I don't have a gallbladder, so I really shouldn't be eating fat anyway, period. Like, that's another thing. Because of my gallbladder, weight loss is automatically going to be harder. So I'm like, okay, I don't have a gallbladder. I'm just going to go ahead and just have the fruits. Fruits, no fat. Because, like, I like cashews and I like salmon and stuff like that. But that all has fat in it. And I was taking these pills too, like, enzyme pills. I just started taking those because I heard that when you don't have a gallbladder, you need to break down fat. So using those enzyme pills are supposed to be helpful. So I'm like, all right, cool. But this past weekend, like I said, on Friday, the kids had pizza, so did I. They had Wendy's, so did I. And I hadn't gained no weight. So I was like, whatever. Great. Saturday, juice. I think I still fasted for 20 hours. Like, I still be fasting for 20 hours. I fasted 20 hours and had that pizza and stuff. And I fasted for 20 hours, and then I had some juice last night. Pineapple juice, green juice, tart cherry juice. Then started fasting again, and I woke up and weighed myself. I had already lost 2 pounds. I'm down to 395. So, and mind you, all week long, I was stuck at 397, but when I started this little sugar diet, I'm down 2 pounds. So I'm just like, okay, well, while we intermittent fasting, everybody eating whatever they want to eat or whatever they diet they want to be on, I'm just going to see what's up with the sugar thing, because my son and my daughter graduate on the 5th of June, so I want to see if I can drop like 20-30 pounds before then. I know that's not far away because it's already like the 10th. Wait, is it? It's already the 11th. So if I could drop 20 or 30 pounds by then, I would be amazed. Even if I just dropped 20 pounds by the 5th of June, I would be amazed and I'd be happy about that. Because like I said, I feel like I wasted 2 months doing the same thing and it wasn't working. If something stopped working, I'm going to stop doing it and do something else. That's what I feel like I'm going to do. Because January to February, I was like, yeah, we doing it. But then February to March, I didn't lose no weight. I gained a couple pounds. Then March to April, I'm like, yeah, we doing it. And then April to May, didn't lose any weight, gained a couple pounds. So I'm not about to wait around no more when I see that. I'm finna just start doing something else. So now I'm starting to do something else. And when this stall, I may go back to something else. Because once your body get used to something, everything slows down. Supposedly, though, Cole is saying that this never slows down, like, period. And it's not crazy restrictive. Because I'm not about to be fasting for 60 hours and 80 hours a freaking week just to lose weight. And then it comes back because I start eating again. And that's the thing. I'm not about to do that. But if you're eating, if your metabolism is, supposedly this is supposed to rev your metabolism up, even for women who are through hormonal. So we're going to see how it works. Anyway, that's what's been going on with me. My message, though, for today is don't let people gaslight you. I'm sorry, but do not let people gaslight you. You know, like, everybody's different. And everybody sees things differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. How I view something may be different from how you view something. But I'm not going to put my views on you and expect you to conform to what I'm saying, because that's gaslighting you. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. I don't even know what the term gaslight even came from, but the bottom line is it's not cool to do that. If I feel a certain way, validate how I feel. If you feel a certain way, I'm going to validate how you feel. And we can agree to disagree, or we can come to some type of compromise, or we can figure something out. But don't sit there and try to make people conform to what you got going on. And they shouldn't do that to you either. And if you noticed that somebody's doing that to you, if they disregard what you say and they make you feel stupid for what you say, or they make you feel dumb because you ain't what on their hype or what they want to do, then just let that go. Please. I don't care if it's a friend, a family member, a significant other, or whoever the heck it is. You know what I'm saying? If you have certain views. I'm not saying if you're at work and you're supposed to be doing work and then all of a sudden you decide you don't want to do the work. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you have some principles or some values or some morals that you stand on because it's your choice to do that, and somebody else doesn't have those same values or morals, don't try to push them to conform to yours. But at the same time, don't let them make you lower your standards to conform to theirs either. I feel like that's the definition of gaslighting. Now, I could be right, I could be wrong, or I could be right, but I'm not even going to call it that. I'm going to say, don't let people do that. If you want to come to a mutual compromise, great. If y'all want to agree to disagree, great. But don't try to make somebody conform to you. That's control. That's called trying to control somebody. And that's not cool. That's manipulative. It's not okay. And then to try to make somebody feel bad because that's how they feel, or try to make them feel stupid, or try to make them feel like they're less of a person or insignificant because of that, that's not cool. Don't do that, and don't let nobody do that to you. And that was my message for today. So anyways, I will keep y'all posted. I know I ain't been on here for a while, but I will be more consistent because I want y'all to know how things are going, what works, what don't work for me. Because like I said, that's my journey. Your journey is your journey. What may work for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you, but I put it out there because it just might. All right, bye. Remember, do what's best for you. Because the only person that's going to take care of you is you and God. All right. Bye.